Flight Boss, bitch, you know, for sure. You're now listening to the Mind of an Terry Smooth. Download the Archangel Uriel. Flight Boss is here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now we're going to talk about the astrological body we are in. The astrological body we are in. Now check this out. This is the astrological body. Now this is what you need to understand. All this reptilian talk, all this snake-like being talk, and you got people who two left brain and people who know how to shape shift and all that. Look, this is the totality of the being you in. So it's not no escaping that. You're gonna share these traits. You see what I'm saying? So this is the being you in. You are in a snake-like being. And the being you are in is in a world of its own. You see what I'm saying? So if you was to come out into the world of the being that you are in, and you cling on to a lot of things here, you're coming out of another snake-like being. But you can take your conscious spirit somewhere else. You can take your shapeless, formless, odorless, non-flammable gas somewhere else. But right now, we're just going to talk about where we at right now. Now, it's a snake-like being. Now, this is what you need to know about the Draco constellation. Now, listen. The Draco constellation is basically trying to explain to you this is the being we are in. This is the solar system. This is the being we in. Now, constellations are like, it's like the body of it, the surrounding, the body pieces of it. So how you look at yourself, like you got your brain, you got the area of your brain, you got the area of everything that's putting your neck together, you got the area of everywhere in your lungs and stuff in the area. Now look at it like this. Now Draco, the reason why it spans out through all the constellations when you look at Draco is because Draco is actually the head and the spinal cord of this being. So it's the head and the tail. So this is why the Draco constellation goes through the whole 360 of the zodiac constellations. You see what I'm saying? Now the constellations is the stars that this body has, that this spinal cord or that this snake-like being has built around itself based upon what it have accumulated, what other stars it has relationships with, and things of that nature, and the body that is building for itself. You see what I'm saying? So when you look at Draco constellation, the Draco constellation itself is the head of this being. Then Draco, the whole constellation follows through the whole system, but the head will be here. So we'll start at Aries. You know what I'm saying? When the sun is exalted in Aries. So this is why the Aries star constellation represents the head. This is the brain that it had built around itself. You see what I'm saying? Then this is why Taurus star constellation represents this area. You see what I'm saying? Gemini represents this area, and the lungs and the hands, things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? And the shoulders and blades and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Cancer rules this part, the body of this part. So it's the heart. So when you look at when Cancer come around, this is why when summer come around, it heats up. It's like everything is doing the same thing. You see what I'm saying? Everything is doing the same thing. So this will be everything is in the same location, just in different dimensions and perspectives also. Now, you know what I'm saying? Down here is where Leo, the constellation, all the stars in Leo of this body that built it up, the whole around it, the rib cage and all that shit, those look like stars to yourself. Same way these look like stars to you. But this is the being you in. You see what I'm saying? Then you got Virgo, Libra, then you go all the way down to Pisces to the feet. You know what I'm saying? You go all the way down to Pisces to the feet. And then all the analogies and allegories made around it was just basically trying to tell you that. So we say Pisces on the ground or in the water. Aries is in the air. You know what I'm saying? The sky is actually fire. The ground is actually water. This is where a lot of all that stuff comes through, but we don't got to get into all that. Now, as far as that's the body that's built around this snake being, any other constellation is just an influence. It's outside of you. So once you start talking about series, these are constellations. Matter of fact, these are their own solar systems. These are their own beings. So they're influences. So when you talk about a constellation like Cassiopeia or something like that, that's an actual being. And that's the beings that live in those solar systems, and which is beings, they're actually more man-like than the beings that we're like. You think you are man and woman, but you truly ain't. You're a snake-like being, but you have been influenced by your surroundings in some type of way. This is why you got certain constellations and things of that nature that look like hunters, ones with bats and shit like that. You even got Ophiuchus right now that's holding the snake. That's really, if you look at it in this world, that's really a real man-like being hunting a snake. And just to say you are a blood cell in that snake. Now, the reason why you think you're a man and you think you're smart and things of that nature, because this is the information as far as the being that you in could receive that man-like act. So when you see people are planning out the psychological actions of what this being we are in is inhabiting. So if we're in a snake, right, and say we're in the jungle right now in this world that this being we in, and you got real men beings around, the moment interactions start, you see what I'm saying? That's as far as our knowledge can be perceived. So once you perceive or influence any kind of knowledge, you decipher it the best way you can, so it can play out in your life the best way you can. So we like on an evolution from a totality of scale, we're trying to build this being we in, and this being want to keep us in it to keep replicating it. But that's another video. But it's an influence. Same way when I was talking about reincarnation and how some people reincarnate into animals and how some animals reincarnate into humans. For an example, it has to be a certain energetic force. So just like you can't communicate with another species because of the different ways of communicating, but there's one universal way of communicating, and that's through vibration. So a dog know you love it by the way you express your love, and you know you love the dog by the way you express the love to the dog. So if the dog keep acting obedient, no matter how much you express to it, you have to get rid of it, right? But see, this is what I'm saying. Just in a totality of things, just for you to have a pet, and just for that dog to be, or whatever animal it is, but let's say a dog right now, just for that dog to be a pet, that was a reason. So that dog, in its conscious realm, is on an evolutionary scale on becoming a human because it's able to vibrate and resonate with a human. So it's learning human consciousness the best way it can. You see what I'm saying? So once it get into that vibrating, the conscious awareness and the spirit of that dog will be big enough towards when it transform, it'll be able to take a human vessel. So when it die as a dog and go to that spirit, odorless, that shapeless, non-formable, non-flammable gas as a conscious spirit, right? It'll be big enough to be able to handle a bigger vessel because it'll be more consciously aware of that vibration. Same way, that's why it's important for humans to gain knowledge of the stars. Because when you get the more consciously aware you get as a star, you'll be able to inhabit a star body, and you won't have to keep coming here until you understand that. See, people like to close a lot of other people's retarded really in their own world. But let's talk about as far as, you see what I'm saying? You could ascend and you can skip dimensions. You can skip shit. But see, you see how how your influence towards the dog made the dog ascend in a totality of things. Same way when you got bugs, they're less because they're small, so it takes less the energy to influence. So just by you killing a bug or having a bug ring around you in some type of way or whatever, it's learning you in the best way it possibly can. So it got consciously awareness. So it's able to inhabit a bigger vessel or another bug that may be bigger or even an animal next time. You see what I'm saying? When you kill it or when it die after it resonated with you in some type of way. Even if you had to swat it or smack it away, like whatever the relationship was, it's a conscious awareness now. It's a learning, it's an influence. And this is what everything does. So as the being we in, as the snake being we in, and Draco being the head, and things of that nature, we have been surrounded and influenced by certain real men, like real men, women beings. You see what I'm saying? So as far as this being we in could consciously aware it, it takes shape and form as a shapeless, odorless gas, whatever like that, and it starts to take shape and form in this being. So we're planning out the idea of a man the best way, a man, woman the best way it could be perceived, in the perspective of the being we in. But the farthest we can go is to having the snake-like traits and the snake-like mind, because that's the being we in. You know what I'm saying? Into the totality of this being we in transcend based upon the space and location it's traveling in the sky, which right now is in the age of Aquarius. So it's getting all these downloads from technology and communications and things like that. So when it's receiving this information in the best way it can in the world it's in, we're getting the downloads through the filter. So we're very small, and we're like in the heart planet, heart organ of this being, of this Draco being, snake, by being on Earth. That's like the heart organ. So as we hear, right, we're catching the downloads from the sun. When you're looking at the sun, you're looking at the middle, like the conscious in form, the spirit in form of the like the brain in the middle of the mind of this being we in. You know what I'm saying? So anytime the sun is in Aries, if you look up in the sky, can look past the sun, you can see the Draco star constellation, the headship of it. You see what I'm saying? You gotta understand these things. When you get to Pisces, when the sun is in Pisces, you can see the tail end of it. You can see the tail end of Draco. You know what I'm saying? And then do a whole revolution 360 again. You know what I'm saying? But it's really just doing that same way how you, in your mind, you have your mind is going. This is how what I was talking about in my one video. You have to do a conscious 360. When I was talking about learning things and coming back to the one center thing again. Each chakra do that. Each chakra spins like that. You got one right here that do that. You got one right here that do that. We on Earth in this being. We so small. You know what I'm saying? Just you have to think about it like, think about if you was a blood cell and you live in a heart. You see what I'm saying? That will be what you doing now on Earth. You are that cell living in the heart of this being. So the darkness around everything is because we in a body. Same way inside your body is dark. You see what I'm saying? I can open my mouth. You see the darkness down there. You see it's dark. So the being we in, the reason why you think it's space, whatever the space, what they want to call is dark matter, or what they want to call dark matter or antimatter, whatever that ain't nothing but the emotions and feelings of this being we in. That's the vibration of this being we in. And all the light based upon the organs that's shining, aka the planets in this being that's rotating, that's chakras and things like that, they're emitting light. And the light is taking shape and form of the being we in, or whatever it's trying to formulate. It's taking shape and form. That's why you see light bend around shit and things of that nature. It's bending around. So for an example, say you this being, right? You got an idea. The emotions and feelings you attach to that idea, right? That idea is the light. The emotions and feelings will be the dark matter. That light will start taking shape and form around that dark matter. Now, before you can physically see it, you have to start expressing it. So the more you keep harboring over your emotions and feelings, over your imagination, you start to express it. So you start to will it into reality, to the point that that shape and form that the light has took over the vibration, aka the feelings, aka the dark matter, the light that took shape and form over it can actually become solid. So now you can actually see the shape, way, or form what was made out of it in some way, shape, or form in an existence. See, if you was really a conscious being, and you really know how to reincarnate and things, and you really know that you got the brain to inhabit, to remember your other bodies, you will understand this. If you don't understand this, that means you never was this. You've been here all your life. You've been on Earth all your life. And if you listening to this video, I'm sparking that piece in your brain to make you realize, okay, it's time for me to get out of here. You see what I'm saying? You don't have to stay here. But that's another video. Now, when we're talking about the being we in, the totality of this being we in is a snake-like being. So every other constellation is influences. They're what this being is around. You see what I'm saying? So keep that in mind. So the closest constellations to us, the closest solar systems to us, is more like family, relatives, or things we're in rotation with. You see what I'm saying? Like other suns that the sun we are as the mind, the brain we are in is rotating. Who we following? Same way your mind is located with your eyes, and this is what make you see, and whoever you're following, the same way the sun where it's traveling is other suns that it's following that's in this close proximity. I'm trying to get you to understand the being we in though. And astrology is about the body we are in. You see what I'm saying? This is why religion is about the planets, and the planets is about astrology, and astrology is about the body we are in. You know what I'm saying? Now, don't, regardless of whatever words you want to use it, or however you want to change it around or take away from it, you're gonna come to the same conclusion. And it's all a micro and macro, and regardless how people come to that conclusion, we all come to the same conclusion. You know what I'm saying? No, just people got dumber ways of explaining it than others. People got more variety of ways of explaining it. People got more variety of ways of explaining the same shit than other people. Some people cancel their variety of ways of explaining the same shit. So they explain it baby-like. Like they explain it in ways that people already been understood. People got Marvel comic ways of explaining shit. Like they think what they talking about is something new, and it's a Marvel comic way of explaining it. I want everybody to go dive deep into the Marvel comic story, Marvel comics, and do your research on Galactic and all Galactus and all them 8-dimensional beings. He was a galaxy, a solar system. Now you'll get somebody telling you that, oh, that's all man shit. That's all man shit. But the shit that they talk about is the same shit. So, which means that this person just knew about the shit you talking about way before you, and just got a broader way of talking about it now. You know what I'm saying? So your way ain't smart. Your way is just baby-like, baby spirit. Concluded, dished off. You know what I'm saying? Now go do your research on Marvel Comics. It's the same shit. How everything is micro, macro. You see what I'm saying? And how they got entities that come up under entities that come up under entities that come. This is baby science right here. This is people already know this shit. People already know this shit. You just got different ways of interpreting it. You go into astrology, it's the same kind of shit. You go into the Bible, whatever, it got the same kind of shit. You go into Marvel Comics, it's the same kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Niggas got Marvel comic minds. You know what I'm saying? You go into esoteric knowledge, it's the same type of shit. You go into the DRACONIC TRANSVERSE, it's the same kind of shit. They all go to Dragon Ball Z, it's the same kind of shit. You go to DC Comics, it's the same kind of shit. Nobody ain't talking about nothing new. We already know that. What we talking about right now is how to actually understand it in the most simplest way and in the most playful way and energetic way that everybody can get with it, so we can all be as one. You know what I'm saying? How this rapture. That's the purpose. You know what I'm saying? Now, to make something else something of what it really ain't, it just defeats the purpose. And then at that point, what's your purpose? You see what I'm saying? And then people purpose be purposeless. So you know what I'm saying? But you have to understand how you reach, how you and range. You see what I'm saying? You can even look at motherfucking Japanese Japanese culture. You know what I'm saying? That's the way they handle things. It's the same conclusion. But they do it within the mind and other different ways. So you can kind of the pull for it. Don't let anybody tell you don't learn from nothing. Don't tell anybody that. Like, just, you have to look at it like this. If somebody tell you you can't learn in any kind of way, like you can learn from anything. You know what I'm saying? Just because another person lack an ability to learn in some type of way, don't mean you gotta agree to those terms and conditions. It's so many things that, in so many different ways that been presented, that you can just, within your own mind, that you just know subconsciously. There's so many ways to learn just from yourself, to cancel to cancel that in your mind is a canceling energy. You know what I'm saying? You can learn just not doing anything. You can learn when you sleep. You can learn when you vote. If you picking any kind of thing and saying you can't learn from it, then you enabling and handicapping your own ability to learn. When everything, you can learn from everything. It don't matter what it is. People are fools. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this is why everything is left brain, everything is logical, everything is slithery. You know what I'm saying? The being you are in is the Draco being itself. And this is why the Draco constellation goes through all the star constellations of this 360, and this 360 is the constellations, the 12 constellations. It builds the body. It builds the body. You know what I'm saying? Aries the head, Pisces the feet, and everything in between. You know what I'm saying? And you can look at it in every way. It's almost like this being doing a 360 every time, doing a revolution every time. So each direction it took. This is the house of I am, the first house, the first look, the first location. Boom, right here. The Taurus house, which is, you just call it the second houses. The houses is what root of the signs. You know what I'm saying? Then boom, the third house, fourth house. You know what I'm saying? First house, second house, third house, fourth house, fifth house, sixth house. Boom. See where the fourth house at? See how the heart there? See how the heart there? See how the moon? How you see it? See how that resonate with Earth? Earth. See what I'm saying? The moon go have his own kind of shit. Moon is like the subconscious. You know what I'm saying? See, I got the sun. What you could consciously see, what you could consciously receive, really. You know what I'm saying? It's the sun. Boom, it's what you're constantly aware of. Boom, you got the second house, all these star constellations right here. Boom, you got the third house, all these constellations right here. Saying you got Mercury flying around somewhere in there. You know what I'm saying? So it's your lungs, you're able to breathe, you're able to communicate. That breathe in, that breathe out, give you enough information to help blood rush to your head, so you can stay consciously aware of and be able to effectively communicate and analyze what you're consciously aware of. See how them chakras travel with each other? You know what I'm saying? See how I travel through Venus with your value? See how I travel through the throat? See how it construct your voice? See how Taurus, this is why Taurus is sing? Oh, use their voice. See what I'm saying? It all correlates. Tell me I'm motherfucking lying. See how you want to go down here, go a little lower? You want to desire? You want to be center stage? Leo down there. Right after Cancer. Right after Cancer constellation. Leo down there. Desire. You want to be center stage. You know what I'm saying? You want to be in the middle. You know what I'm saying? So you see how the sun likes that? How the two chakras travel up? Now you're consciously aware of what you desire, what you want to be the center of, your passions. You know what I'm saying? Your leadership qualities, or the mechanism that make you want to be a leader in the first place. See, the sun be having a guilty conscience. The sun want followers. So Leos know this naturally, and Leos know how to get it subconsciously because they got that talent from the sun. You gotta understand these things, but the sun know how to do this on his own without you. You know what I'm saying? You go down, talk about the root of things now. Start to get to the relationship part of the relationship area. Yeah, I know when we get down there. Start to rubbing on them legs, down to the Sagittarius area. You know what I'm saying? Rubbing on them kneecaps, down to the Capricorn area. You know what I'm saying? take a chick pants off down to the legs, down from the you know what I'm saying? Like take her down from the Aquarius area by the shins. You know what I'm saying? And once you reach it off, and take it off by the feet. You know what I'm saying? We about to get things popping. She probably wet because down when the pants go past the feet, it past that Pisces area. You can correlate any kind of life to this. You feel me? So this is the motherfucking being win. You need to know that. And once you know that, you can start to begin to ascend and go wherever you want to go. Flight boss, bitch, you know, for sure. Goddamn air, hee hee.